hydrate. Water.
You said that so, like...
Water.
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 Oh, God.
Hey, we're back. In its unexpected turn of events, we are doing a second episode in the same day.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew? We have a lot to talk about, apparently.
Apparently so.
Yeah, this is episode 2 of whatever the show is going to be called when I eventually upload it.
Right.
I'm going to work on that. But yeah, it's like I said in the last episode, pseudo-podcast. That's like the only way I can really describe this. It's not a Let's Play, it's not a podcast, it's a little bit of both, but also not. It's not a Let's Play. I've already beat this game, so we're just kind of screwing around, but also talking.
Yeah.
It's a good time to talk because there's no story to worry about. But yeah, we were in the middle of talking about Arcane of all things. And which I feel like the people who heard that in the last episode are like, Void likes League of Legends stuff? That might come as a shock to some people. Yeah, I don't play the game, but I love the lore, because, you know me. I mean, if you don't know this about me, then you're gonna know now. I'm all about world building. I'm a huge world building nerd.
Yeah.
And if there's a fictional world with compelling lore and a huge rabbit hole to go down, I'm gonna lock on. I'm gonna get hyper fixated.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like that too, to some extent, of just like certain worlds, like
Harry Potter.
Yeah,
first thing
Harry
that comes
Potter,
to mind
for sure. Harry Potter.
The Harry world of Wizzy Pizzy.
Wizzy Pizzy.
Wizzy Pizzy. Yeah. You know Wizzy Pizzy. You know everyone knows Wizzy Pizzy. And he goes up against Voidblivion.
Oh no.
Voidblivion, the one who should not be shat. You know. I probably should bleep that out because we're not. Oh no, we're like 2 minutes in. We're fine. But yeah. So anyway. Yeah,
Wizzy
Pizzy.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess we should get back to finish up the Arcane topic.
Back to Arcane.
Yeah.
Okay, so we were talking about Jinx and how she didn't die. But
spoilers.
Low-key, I think it would have been so cool if Echo went with her.
Yeah, so actually, speaking of that, there's been a lot of talk about, I was reading up, what they're gonna do next. Mm-hmm. There are plans for future shows. However, the bad news is that, they lost money on Arcane, and knowing how corporations work, they're gonna be like, if you lose money, we don't do that anymore.
Well, I mean, there's been, unfortunately, just side tangent, so many good shows that have been canceled by Netflix because they lost money, even though they had a huge community of support.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not even talking about Netflix. I'm talking about Riot, the game company that.
Oh.
Yeah, they lost money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's bad news for people who like the show.
Right. Sucks.
Yeah, it really does. But yeah, so one of the plans what's set in stone, I think, is... Actually, I don't even know if it's set in stone now, because there was a cinematic trailer for the next season of League of Legends.
Okay.
And it was within the Arcane art style. Mm-hmm. But, it was I was watching it, and it was a direct follow-up to the events of Arcane.
Oh.
Which is, I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, that could be a good thing, but it could be a bad thing.
So it's kind of like a spin-off series.
Well, no, this is League of Legends. It's a trailer for the next. League of Legends is a live service game. They have seasons of content.
Oh,
it's a cinematic. They do cinematic trailers, advertising the game.
Okay,
and here's what the next season of content's gonna be. Here's what the battle pass. I don't know if they do a battle pass. By the way, I despise live service games. I don't play them. Don't ask me to play them, viewer. Talking to you. But yeah, so. The Arcane art style is now heavily associated with just League of Legends in general. It's it's synonymous. But yeah, so the upcoming season of this game is going to be themed around Noxus.
Okay.
So they showed Mel. They also showed some characters that you haven't seen yet that I know about that I immediately recognize, Darius. He's a Noxus guy. Okay. Katarina. She's a Noxus girl. She's an assassin. And then this spider lady from the Shadow Isles called I forget her name. I'm not the best with remembering everything. But, yeah, so they showed all this stuff in the Arcane art style. And that's making me think, okay, well, this is for the game. There's no confirmation that they're going to do a show about this. This seems like bad news. Yeah. But,
gotcha.
But what I heard was that there's going to be a Noxus show, and that the Noxus show could rope in another region of the world into it, because it was revealed through details in Arcane that Noxus is currently at war with another region.
Oh.
Which is actually is an event that in the lore has already taken place. Okay. So that actually gives you like a place in the timeline where this show is taking place. Right? So the other region that they're at war with is called Ionia. And it's like
oh, it's across the lake. Or the
lake.
It's not the lake. It's across. I'm looking at the map right now again. It's across.
It's a whole ocean.
Across the ocean. From Noxus.
Yeah, and it's very like Eastern themed, like Japan and China and all that. It's a really cool region. You've got like samurai type people and ninjas over there. It's really cool. So yeah, potentially you could see more of that in that show. But also like there are all these ideas for spin-offs like Echo and Jinx. There's like, oh yeah, what if they meet up again and there's like a romance?
Ooh.
That'd be cool. I mean, I would want that because that was really cool.
Low-key, yeah. Like when we were watching the second season of Arcane, Jacob and I, and they went to the different universe, it was like bittersweet to watch those episodes.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my god, it's what could have been.
Like the song at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
What could have been.
Of like Jinx not going like mentally insane or like being pitted against her sister. It was just because again, what sucks about Vi and Jinx in their situations was it was just their situations were an aspect of just like what happened in their lives and environment.
Yeah.
Like, had the events not played out the way they did, Jinx and Vi could have, stayed sisters and stayed together. And, like, part of the reason why Jinx...
Okay, sorry, the leaves distracted. It's like, I can't see the korok, but yeah.
But yeah, part of the reason why Jinx turned out the way she was is because, tidbit of psychology, they say that people are a combination of both environment and genetics.
By the way, Cassie is kind of like in that field. That's her career.
Right.
She knows what she's talking about. Like she went to she studied this stuff in school.
Yes.
And yeah, pretty cool stuff. But anyway,
yeah. So tidbit of psychology. They've done studies like twin studies in psychology on what makes a person them, right?
Yeah.
And it's a combination of the environment that you grow up in, as well as just genetics. So like in the twin studies, because they did identical twins so that they had identical genetics.
Yeah.
In these studies, they found that personality-wise, some of their personality was different because these twins were adopted by different parents.
You're adopted.
Right. So they did some studies and they found that the twins, even if they were raised by different parents, because they were adopted by different parents, they still had certain qualities about them due to their genetics. But other qualities about them were different because of the people that raised them. Yeah. So going back to Arcane and all this stuff, just knowing that background that I have in psychology, I was just like, this fucking sucks, man. Like, it sucks so hard because had Jinx not been raised by Silco, she could have turned out so differently.
Oh, yeah.
And just the one, like, I understand Vi running away because she was upset and she was a kid and you can't blame her for running away.
Yeah.
Right? But it just sucks that everything played out the way it did. And then they were on two basically opposite sides of a war.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tragedy.
Yeah. Like, things could have been turned out so much different. And then to that regard, the whole universe of when Echo got thrown into a different timeline, where what sucks is that in that different timeline, Vi was dead!
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? I was so frustrated!
Can't have a happy ending.
Legit! We can't have a happy
happy internet. We can't have a happy internet, guys. We can't have the connection we deserve.
Apparently so. Well, true. We can't have the connection between the sisters that we deserve.
Yeah.
Wow, you're like a badass on that tree.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I was just so frustrated. Because it's like what could have been. Like, she was, I mean, I could even tell amongst her insanity in the original timeline that she was a genius.
Oh yeah. Like you kind of a waste.
Right. It was such a waste that she had all this genius and intelligence and potential, and just, like, she went mentally crazy.
Yeah.
And it just sucks. And if she didn't have all that death in her life at a young age, if she wasn't raised by Silco, all of this stuff, she could have been so different. And also, like, but, like, you know, we can't have nice things, so even in the nicer timeline, Vi's dead, which sucks, anyway.
I think what happened with Vander, that was the worst thing.
Yes.
Especially because they built it up like, oh yeah, it might be good, it might turn out okay, and then Noxus ruined everything, and then it's like, and then he became like augmented by Victor, which, by the way, does not happen, and that's not what happened in the lore, on the lore page.
Yeah.
He did not look like a freaking wolf cyborg. I'm hoping that maybe, I don't know, like, he could have lived from that explosion, because his whole thing is like being like an indestructible weapon.
Right.
And I'm hoping that maybe, like, in a spin-off, like, if they do a spin-off, all that stuff will, like, come off of him from the explosion, and he'll go back to being, like, more wolf-like. But I don't think the old Vander is I think it's implied that he is dead.
Yeah.
Like, he just kind of got snapped away.
Well, yeah, I mean, that scene in the second season, when they introduced Vander, and then they just, like, the scene of, like, all of his memories of Vi and Powder, when she was Powder, not Jinx, wiping away, that was so sad.
Yeah.
Like, I almost cried.
Yeah.
I was like, no! I was so sad that they bring him back just to basically kill him again.
Yeah, that sucked.
What's the point of that?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Like, anyway, all this is to say, yes, I do, going back from, like, when we were saying we had strong opinions in episode 1, yes, I feel the same. Like,
yeah.
Ugh!
I guess we should stop talking about Arcane, though, because if people want to see Arcane and they don't want to get spoiled, they're going to skip, like, entire minutes of this.
True.
So, I guess this is where we stop talking about Arcane. I'm going to put a stream marker for that.
Right.
But yeah, long story short, Arcane's cool. League of Legends lore is cool.
Yeah.
There's actually games. They've done, like, there's single-player games that they've made, like 5 of them, and then the studio shut down. Yeah, because they're like, we're losing money.
Unison.
Yeah, like they had, like, it's a studio called Riot Forge that's dedicated to making single player experiences set in the same world of League of Legends, which is a really cool idea. And the fact that they stopped doing that, I am so infuriated by it. Because, like,
right.
I think they made a game for 2 games for Piltover, 1 for the Freljord, 1 for Shadow Isles / Bilgewater, which is like the pirate area.
Imagine if they basically combined all those games and did like an open world.
There's actually going to be a MOBA. Not a MOBA, an MMORPG.
Okay.
Massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Gotcha.
MOBA is what League of Legends is. Multiplayer online battle arena.
Okay.
I don't play MOBAs.
But, like, for example, imagine if they did open world like Zelda, right? Like, Tears of the Kingdom, they did open world with all the different areas.
Yeah.
But League of Legends with all the lore and everything. That would be very cool.
It would be very cool.
And then obviously to what you're talking about, they did single player.
Yes.
So you could just go around.
But Riot is stupid, and they're not going to do that. Screw them. I'm just going to put it out there. Fuck Riot. Okay.
Okay.
Just like they have such a compelling world, and they just trash it. They just trash it. They make terrible. They cut off. They do a incredible thing, and they're like, let's not do that anymore. Let's just focus on the multiplayer. And I'm not gonna apologize if I piss someone off by saying that. Like, if you play League of Legends, like, that's your deal, not my problem. That's not my problem.
Not my problem.
Not my problem.
Okay.
Anyway. But yeah, I guess now officially we're gonna move away from that as a topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like actually, I can do a segue here, because I was for a while reading the lore. I would every night I would be reading the lore, but I've kind of shifted away from that because I've got other things to do.
Okay.
Like, pretty good idea, gotta say. Oh, now we're not moving.
You need another rocket on the side to go forward.
Yeah. Let's I'm gonna backpedal on that decision.
Okay.
We're gonna just bring it back.
Are you just gonna go forward?
I'm gonna do this. We're gonna make a little device. Hold on, let me get my thoughts together.
Yeah, what was the next thing you wanted to talk about? We went on a long
we went on a long
Arcane.
tangent there with Arcane. But yeah, I'm glad we're caught up to speed on that. And by the way, you should watch that the cinematic trailer for advertising the next season, the first season of this year.
Okay.
Of League of Legends, because it's kind of like Arcane-ish.
Okay.
And you'll see some new characters, and that I have baseline amount of information on. But yeah, so I have been watching a show, and I think this is actually a good thing to talk about for this what we're doing here, because we're we want to talk about gaming. Have you heard of a show called Secret Level?
No.
You have not?
No.
Okay, this is a new thing. It's exclusive. It's on Prime Video. It is a series, it's an anthology series of short films based on various games. They take place in the worlds of various games. So they tell original stories, never before seen, from different animation teams. And the talent behind this also did Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh.
Yeah, you've seen that, right?
I've heard of it.
Oh.
I don't know if I've seen it.
I thought you had.
Hold on, let me look it up real quick.
It's on Love, Death, and Robots is on Netflix. It's a bunch of different short films, short animations. And it's animated, by the way. It's not live action. Yeah, Love, Death, and Robots. It's you got wildly different stories in wildly different settings, and it's all really creative.
I don't know if I've heard of it for sure. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing.
Oh, I thought you had. Okay.
But yeah, okay, so it's by that same animation team.
Well, Panda's seen it, I guess. I could have sworn that you introduced me to it, but I guess I got that mixed up. But anyway,
It might have been Panda.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's by the same team. And it's really great. It's you don't need to know anything about the games they feature in this series, and you don't have to watch it in the order that's presented in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I just thought I'd put that on your radar, and also for anyone who's listening to this or watching this, it's a really cool show. There's no spoilers for any of the games they talk about. So just you can just watch it in any order, regardless of the game. And it's honestly a really good introduction to a lot of video games, for people who don't usually play games. It's a good intro. Okay, this is not working.
It's not working.
Oh, I need to put the cart on the bottom. But yeah, it's a really good introduction to a lot of these it's not even like the games, just like the world that the games take place in. Like they did one for Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
Which is actually that started as a tabletop game.
Yeah.
And there's another tabletop-based one that I haven't seen yet, but I'm saving for last because it's really cool. Warhammer 40,000.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard
that one.
You have or you haven't?
Haven't.
Okay, that's really cool. I mean, I could spurg on that, but I'm not gonna because we're just gonna talk about the show. But yeah, so like, and I mean they vary in quality, but they're for the most part they range from decent to excellent. There's a Mega Man one, you know Mega Man, right?
Yes.
And that one was not long enough. It was like 8 minutes long. Some of them are like 19 minutes long. Some are only 8.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you could check it out and get introduced to all these different worlds in games, and it's really cool, honestly. Though the last one is actually the worst one, so maybe watch that one first.
Okay. Okay, gotcha.
Because it's not really based on one game.
Okay.
And you're not going to know what I mean by that until you see it, but...
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's a really cool show, really, like... And I'm watching all these different episodes, and some of them could actually be pilots for entire shows. Like, the Mega Man one, for instance, the strong example. And yeah, I mean, God, there's like 15 episodes, and yeah, it's excellent. Okay. And also watch Love, Death and Robots, everyone. Not just you, Cassie, but also everyone. It's a great show, but it is, it's adult content, so like. If you're one of my younger viewers, which, by the way, if you're 20 minutes in, if you're a younger viewer and you're 20 minutes into this, like, I'm very shocked. Like, I don't think anyone with a short attention span is going to watch this, which is another reason why I wanted to keep it an hour. Because like, I can kind of, like, move away from that kind of appeal, which is what, like, my Zelda streams built up. And this is kind of a tangent, but, like, I guess I'm kind of done talking about Secret Level.
Yeah.
Like, if I do hour-long stuff that's exclusive from my streams, which, by the way, I've been doing a lot of stream-based content. It's either live streams or clips from live streams. And this is a great way to move away from that.
Right. Get
my foot in the door of doing more stuff that's exclusively recorded, never streamed, and stuff that you wouldn't, like, I feel like people, they watch the stream and they're like, oh, I don't have to watch this, despite all the editing that Void put into it. I feel like a lot of people aren't giving a rat's ass about my editing, and it kind of sucks, and it makes me feel like some of the things I'm doing aren't worth it. But I feel like if I just do, like, longer stuff like this, I'm gonna get more of a mature audience. So yeah, but if you're like, I would be shocked if one of the younger people who joined on my streams were this far in to this episode, and that might be a good thing, because then I can fucking, like, shit on them.
Oh my god!
I can just do that.
Okay.
What, is that a bad idea? You think that's a bad idea?
I don't know. I mean, maybe some gentle shitting.
Gentle shitting. Well, look. Okay, for the most part, it's fine. I haven't had any. Oh, that's right. It goes away.
It's not moving.
It's not moving. For the most part, it's fine. But like, I'm gonna address the live stream audience right now. For the most part, y'all are great, and like, I would say like the ideal viewer. I'm gonna do a shout out right now. Boost someone's ego. Aisha, I think I'm saying that right.
Is it Aisha?
Aisha, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's like, if Aisha's a boy or girl, male or female.
I've seen them in the comments.
Yeah, but they're an excellent viewer. They are an excellent viewer, the ideal viewer. They're in the background, but also like, they're like,
they chime in every once in a while.
They chime in every once in a while. I mean, I don't mind if you're talking all the time. That's fine. That's more engagement. But like, I think they understand the relationship between the streamer, the YouTuber, and the viewer, right? Mm-hmm. Every now and then, there will be someone who develops kind of parasocial tendencies, and that's like, it's like, I don't want to sound mean,
Yeah, so, I mean, I think something that is different between generations, because, you know, we're technically the older end of Generation Z.
Well, we might be Zillennial. I think I'm a Zillennial. I think you're a Zillennial.
I'm kind of almost on the cutoff of Zillennial.
Yeah.
I've seen different stuff where the year that I'm born, some of them say that I'm a Zillennial and some of them don't. So
well, I
think you are solidly Zillennial.
Yeah.
In between Gen Z and
which, by the way, is a relatively new term for those of you who don't know. That's like
it's a microgeneration.
It's a microgeneration for the people who don't feel like they are millennial but don't feel like they are Gen Z. And that's there's actually a lot of people who feel that way, and I'm one of them.
I mean, I've heard it's largely based off of who raised you, what generation raised you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because technically, we were
raised by
boomers.
Yeah, boomers. Another way to say it, boomers.
Boomers.
Boomer. Anyway.
And they're on the very, very end of boomers, so they're the youngest boomers that are around.
And you're the oldest Gen Z that's around.
Yeah, okay, anyway. So we were raised by boomers. I think it depends on... So that's why we kind of associate with both. Like, we kind of remember
Neither.
What?
Well, like, what do you mean? Like, which generations are you talking about when you say both?
So us, even though we're technically Gen Z, we associate with millennials and Gen Z of different qualities.
Yeah, well, like, a little bit. I think I associate more with millennials than Gen Z, but, like, there are some ways... It's not that I associate with Gen Z, it's that there are some things I cannot associate with millennials.
Right, so there's some aspects of Gen Z that I associate with that is truly solidly Gen Z.
Yeah.
But also on the flip side, like, there's other aspects that I associate with millennial, and I remember both.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we're in that age, and we grew up with boomers raising us to the point where, like, we remember the rise of technology. Like, yes...
The rise of technology.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, yes, we were super, super young when, like, YouTube and Facebook came out.
Yeah.
But, like, that was a new thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of tied into our upbringing, at least with our parents, because they weren't used to technology.
Right.
And they limited us on our exposure to technology, which, thank goodness for that, by the way.
Like, remember Clippy or...
Oh, like, this is clever.
What?
This little bell, I can actually move it.
Oh!
For a korok.
Cool.
But yeah, Clippy.
Yeah.
We love Clippy.
Yes! Like, I remember Clippy. It's wild. I literally vividly remember the green rolling hills of, like, the...
Well, that wasn't exclusive to Clippy. That was Windows XP.
Well, yeah, I know that was Windows.
Yeah.
But I explicitly remember Windows XP. And this is, like... You know, we're now on freaking Windows 11.
Which I don't even use, by the way.
I heard there were problems with Windows 11.
Yeah.
So you actually want to stick with Windows 10.
But also support for Windows 10 is going away soon.
Oh.
Yeah, like they're not going to be doing updates after...
But I heard Windows 11 sucks.
Yeah, like, God, I just wait for Windows 12.
Right, I'm gonna skip Windows 11 and go straight to 12.
You just use the even numbers.
Yeah, apparently.
Because no one used Windows 9.
Yeah, true.
Who the hell used Windows 9? I don't know anyone.
From 8 to 10.
Oh, that's right. Because 7, 8, 9.
Okay.
Nudge.
God. Anyway, going back to Windows XP, like, the fact that we remember that shit, like, we're aging ourselves right now, okay?
Yeah.
Like...
This is extreme profiling of ourselves.
Yeah. Like, anyway. But yeah, like, I don't even know why we got on this topic of conversation.
Why did we get on this topic of... Oh, yeah, because I was talking about streaming and like, my younger audience.
Oh, wait, yeah. So, okay, tangent over. That was a long tangent.
Sorry, that's bound to happen when you talk with someone.
True. I think what I was talking about is because we grew up, like, we saw the introduction of internet, but we remember the old internet. versus not how it is now. Like, we still remember Vine and stuff like that.
I mean, that was like, wasn't that like 2012?
When did that go away? When did Vine?
2016?
Vine was such a huge thing.
It was the cool TikTok.
Legit. Like, but it had more of like the vibe on Vine was funnier. Like, it had more of a meme quality to it.
Yeah, I mean, and you would see a lot of that showing up on YouTube, and TikTok didn't really recreate that magic. I gotta be honest.
No, it didn't. But I guess the whole point to this long tangent that I was trying to get at is there's definitely a difference in attention span that I'm seeing between generations, and also there's a difference of generations in terms of, like, there's a difference of generations in terms of, because we remember more long-form content when the internet first was around.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just, you know, we're different in that aspect, and, I mean, I am glad podcasts are, like, pretty popular.
Oh, yeah, like, I've been getting into some podcasts.
Right, so, that's, like, longer form content that's, like, coming back that didn't used to exist, or maybe...
Yeah, it's like ambient content, like...
Right.
It's in the... And I appreciate that, like, if I'm doing something where I can't, like, look at something else, that's really good to have. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at this.
Right.
One of these.
But yeah, I just think there's a difference of attention span, and, like...
God, attention span is over. It's Jover for attention span.
I mean... I'm gonna be honest, because I've talked about this before with, like, Jacob, for example. I feel like, as much as because he didn't really have that much interaction with the internet either. He kind of had the same upbringing as we did, where he didn't get a smartphone. He actually had to buy his own smartphone.
Oh,
I don't know if you know this, but his parents gave him a flip phone.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And he had that flip phone all the way up to senior year of high school.
Oh, you know what? You told me that at one point, but I completely forgot.
Yeah. So when we actually first got together, because, you know, we've been together for a long time now, he had a flip phone, and he would text me on his flip phone.
Wow, how did that work? I just had to, like, process that.
Really fast. Because you know, to hit the letter C, to type the letter C, he has to type the ABC button 3 times to get to C.
Oh my god, it's like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
He had that flip phone.
God.
Yeah, it wasn't like the one where you can slide up the screen and you have the whole alphabet. It was like, literally, like, I have to type the letter C, ABC, and then you get to the C. And same with, like, the whole alphabet. So he was really fast with his thumbs for typing. But yeah, he didn't have much interaction with social media, or he's still not on social media, right?
Yeah.
But, so he didn't have much interaction with any of that stuff, and neither did we, because, like, we didn't get smartphones until, I think I was 8th grade and you were 10?
Yeah, I was definitely in high school by the time I got my first smartphone.
So, I mean, my thing that I definitely wanted a phone, because in school they started introducing activities that you could do on the internet using your phone. And it was such a pain to be like, I don't have a phone, and then the teacher would have to pull out, like, a tablet for me to use. Like... And
that's what eventually led to us getting phones, because it was a necessity at that point.
Right.
That everyone expected you to have.
Right. It became a necessity where it was expected everybody had a phone so they could do something online, like, I don't know, gosh, what's the quiz?
Kahoot?
Kahoot, there we go.
How could you forget Kahoot?
I don't know.
The legendary pastime that every child looks forward to in their classroom. True. Such a godsend, but yeah.
But, like, yeah, like, I couldn't do Kahoot on my phone. I had to pull out the tablet, and then, of course, the tablet that the teacher gave me was slower.
Yeah.
So it's like, I have no hope of trying to get on the leaderboard, even if I knew the answers.
Were you too slow?
Legit.
And it usually asks you, were you too fast? But it's like, were you too slow? We see you.
We see you.
You're Cassie,
too slow.
With your slow-ass tablet.
Legit.
Point and laugh at her. Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. But yeah, so, I mean, that was... Anyway, so Jacob, he had a flip phone. I didn't get social media. I mean, I just wasn't really in the social media scene because we didn't get it when everybody else got phones at a younger age than us, and so I never really got into the social media scene all too much. I mean, I have Instagram now, but I don't really post all the too often. Like, I posted the other week, like, for the first time in a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like, that's very, yeah. Like, I had it posted a year and a half.
We are built different.
Right. I just don't live my life on the internet.
Yeah.
That's not my thing. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I have friends that had way more exposure. They were born same year, but, like, just a little later.
Uh-huh.
And they had way more exposure to the internet, and...
Maybe because they got phones sooner than we did.
Probably, yeah. I mean, their parents are younger, so I think that's the case.
Yeah, and I mean, again, that goes back to my original point of I think it depends on who raised you, because we were raised by boomers, so they were old school, versus anyone raised by Gen X, because our parents had us late in life.
Yeah.
They probably had more interactions with technology and were more comfortable giving their kids technology at a younger age.
Look at all the things you are learning, guys, by, like, listening to... You're learning so much more. I would not say this kind of stuff during a stream. Like, this is exclusive pseudo-podcast
Talking
content.
about our lives.
Yeah. Killing pigs. He got away. No, he didn't.
Imagine if this was, like, actually recorded and it wasn't a video game, and we're just like, look at us talking about our lives, killing pigs, and we're out
you mean like recorded in real life?
Right, yeah.
That's what you mean, like, because it is recorded.
Right, no, I mean in real life. We're literally recording ourselves killing pigs.
Yeah, just gamer stuff.
Yeah, anyway.
Out here killing pigs.
Anyway, yeah. Tangent over, but I just think there's a difference, but
I want to circle back to when I was addressing the audience. The amount of people, when I said parasocial, like, the amount of people I could say have ever, like, been like that to me, I could count on one hand. What the hell? Oh, it's, okay.
Sparkly.
That's a korok, and I gotta, like, build a platform. But, the amount of people that are currently like that, I feel like it's, like, maybe one or two. But, yeah, it's not like a super big issue, but just, like, you guys should know that, like, I'm friendly to you guys, and I want to, like, be a good host and stuff, and I want to be engaging and such and so. But, like, I can't really be more than that, like, realistically. Like,
right.
I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. I think that is kind of what I meant by, like, we don't live our lives on the internet, and we grew up differently, because I do think that for a younger generation, they genuinely form connections on the internet. Oh,
No, I got it.
But
yeah, like, they don't distinguish between a friendship online and a friendship in real life.
Right.
And I honestly, I only really am friends with people that I would be friends with, like, in person. I would say the amount of friends I have, realistically,
is minimal.
It's like 5.
I mean, same deal for me.
Yeah, like, because any more than that, and it gets a little, like, you can't really manage that. So,
well, also adult friendships are hard.
Yeah, like, because everyone gets busy. But yeah, like, that's unrealistic expectations to have. Just, not calling anyone out here. I'm just saying that's a little unrealistic, and I can't be like a friend. Because real friendship, that's like, I am in regular personal communication.
Right.
Even though,
yes,
like, my current friends, most of them I met in college.
Yeah.
And I have regular calls with them, and we catch up all the time. And I also have someone else that I talk to, and I'm really good friends with her, and we still talk. Mm-hmm. And they're only, like, those college friends, they're, like, practically the same age as I am.
Yeah.
And she is, like,
a year younger?
Yeah, a year younger.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, honestly, like, if, like, in real life, if you put two people side by side, if you had someone, like, if you had a high school senior, friends of a middle schooler, that'd be kind of weird. And it kind of, that principle kind of applies just in general. Like,
yeah. Well, I do think that there are people that Like, I mean, I know that this happens probably more with guys because they play online games and they form genuine connections with the people that they play online games with.
Yeah, but that's like more in their age range, right?
Right, that's more in their age range, yeah. And so I think it's, to that degree, I do understand forming an online friendship. And there's plenty of people that they're like, I have this friend that I've actually never met in person, but we talk all the time and we play games all the time every Friday night and whatever. But there's a difference between that and thinking you're friends with everybody on the internet.
Yeah. That's like, you gotta stop that mindset, because you're setting yourself up for disappointment if you have that mindset.
Exactly. You can't just think that this random person that you found
Yeah, no, that you're saying. It's funny because this is the way I would say it, and you're saying it, so I don't have to.
You can't just assume that this random person that you found on the internet, no matter how you found them, of like playing a game with them online. Like, I'm sure a lot of kids play Roblox, and they're like,
well, Roblox was around when we were, kids.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah,
but you find just a random player on Roblox, for example, and you start playing games with them and you assume that they're your friend, but they're just kind of someone you might interact with, but they're not necessarily your friend if you're not.
You have to have more of a connection with them. You gotta
you have to have reasons to be friends with a person.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just, oh yeah, this person's nice to me and talks to me and makes me feel special.
Right. Yeah.
Which, yeah, I mean, yeah. And I don't really, address this issue when I'm streaming because I want to be nice, and, I don't want anyone to feel bad, but, what else can I say,
right.
I'm in a position where I've been really nice to this person, and then they start, they're like, hey, pal, I'm like, well, well, not really.
You're not gonna be, unless it's in the context of streaming on a game, and that's gonna be very, very rare.
Yeah, though I will say there are some. Although I can't call these viewers pal, like friends.
Mm-hmm.
There are some that they are really nice to talk to. So it's kind of like a gray. It's a
bit of a gray area.
I wouldn't say gray area because that's oh yeah, it could be friend, but no, it's not associate, but not friend either. It's
right
somewhere in the middle.
Acquaintance.
It's kind of leaning towards associate. I think maybe I don't know. Well, anyway, there's a difference between friendly and friend, and if you don't see the difference, you're seeing the ly at the end of that. See what I did there?
Yep.
So yeah, we gotta be aware of that, and I'm gonna this could be the only time I talk about this. This is a great opportunity during this to talk about it, but I might, if it happens again, I might bring it up again. Just by the way, guys, let's not do that, because I can't be that kind of person in your life. I'm a busy guy. I am close to 10 years older than a lot of these viewers.
I think it's one thing if it's great if you don't want to knock viewers and their happiness and what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
Right? And so and this happens a lot with celebrities or whatever, people that viewers follow, where they bring some sort of joy to their life and can give good advice and get them through hard times, and that's awesome. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the celebrity or the person that they're following is your friend. So you can't rely on them for very intimate personal things because they're not going to be there for you. Yeah. That's where actual friends come into play.
Yeah, and that sometimes happened. I've seen hey guys, what do I do? Sometimes it's been addressed to me. I'm glad when they address it to the chat, but
yeah,
I can't handle that. I can't do that.
That's not the reason why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm here for gaming and for all things gaming related, and I keep other aspects of life out of this because that's not what this channel's about.
Right, and perhaps you can give advice because you're older and have
the wisdom, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say a certain degree of wisdom because you're not an elder.
Well, no, I mean that's of course. I'm not. Right. I don't have elder wisdom. I'm not going to claim I have elder wisdom.
Right.
And even then, like you could be old, and then just like your mind is completely gone, and you're no use to anyone.
True. Well, and then also you can have certain life experiences that make you more mature, or you have more advice than someone else. Like, for example, we're in our 20s. We could have more life advice compared to someone in their 30s if the 30-year-old is super sheltered, right?
Yes.
Like, the 30-year-old could be sheltered by daddy's money, right? I mean, that is a thing.
Yeah.
And...
Daddy money.
So, yeah,
Ow.
I wouldn't knock the ability to give advice, but just keep in mind, like, you're just a random person on the internet.
Yeah.
So you can't...
God, you're fast.
You know... Especially if you don't have experience with it personally, or if you're not knowledgeable on the subject, it's not like you have it's not your place to give advice.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I was gonna use an example, speaking of like talking to people on the internet and they're not not being in a friendship with them. I have a great example actually of that. As soon as I kill this guy, there we go. Oh no, there's another one. I completely did not see you there, sir. Oh, you're gonna block everything, huh?
He kind of blended in with Minoru.
Blended in, green and black.
Well,
yeah, I can see.
He has a little bit of yellow.
He's the same height. I can see that. Die.
To be fair, I did not see that guy either.
Yeah, it's like, where'd you come from? Where'd you go?
Yeah,
come from Connor. Yep. Yeah. Oh, you're just. What are you?
Okay.
Oh, these guys are just completely oblivious to what's happening. There's no reinforcements, buddy. No one's coming. You're alone. You're alone in this world.
You are alone.
I killed all your friends.
You will die alone.
But yeah, okay, the example. So I released a video recently. Saturday morning. So just for reference, we're currently recording this on a Monday.
So like 2 days ago?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Okay.
Which was a Rain World video. And I wanted some kick-ass music for this Rain World video, because the Rain World videos, like, that's just what I do for them. I do a montage, and then I set it all to music, and it's really fun. Mm-hmm. So the song that I wanted to use, for some reason what was popping in my head was this one, oh hey, someone got a Switch friend. Like, I friend people for Monster Hunter content,
yes.
so usually if someone pops up, it's a Monster Hunter person. But
okay, cool.
But yeah, so this one track kept popping in my head. It was from a game I played a while ago while I was in, like, I think it was like around college years, and I was like, okay, well this would be a good one to use, but this game is kind of recent. It's also an indie game. It's a smaller game. And I would feel really weird if I just used this without permission. Mm-hmm. So I contacted this guy. His name is Rainbow Dragon Eyes. Mm-hmm. And he's a really good chiptune composer. And he actually got back to me. I asked him, like, hey, can I use this? If not, that's cool. I really respect, like, what you do. And, like, the game was awesome. And I can't get the soundtrack out of my head. You made a super cool soundtrack. Right. And he got back to me, he's like, oh, that's cool, yeah, no strings attached, you can use it.
Sweet.
Yeah, and it's like, and that was cool, but I don't consider that, like, after having had that cool, chill interaction with this guy, and also, by the way, this guy lives in Colorado.
Oh.
Like, same state as us, so.
Sweet.
Yeah, like, he didn't tell me that, obviously, that'd be a weird thing for him to say, yeah. But I saw that when I was trying to contact him, I saw that in his contact information.
Right, he had an address here.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, he lives in Colorado, that's pretty cool. But yeah, like, I know that, and I know he lives in the same state, and I know he's a pretty cool guy, but I don't, like, after that, I'm not going to consider him, like, a friend, because...
You're not going to, like, seek him out.
Yeah, and this guy's probably in his 30s, so...
Right.
Yeah.
He's not a friend.
Realistically, you put me and that guy next to each other, and that's like what the hell? Like, that wouldn't make sense.
Right. Yeah.
But, I mean, I would like to meet him, but I know, like, regularly seeing him wouldn't be, like, realistic, you know?
Right, yeah. I mean, I guess there's rare occurrences where, if you're in that kind of grouping of people, in the sense that it's not strictly fan versus celebrity, for example.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like you both do similar stuff, and you have similar likes and dislikes and interests and whatever. I mean, I'm sure there's situations where somebody that's to some degree famous can be friends with somebody that, like, they heard about you and started talking to you because you were to some degree famous.
Yeah.
But then a real genuine friendship forms.
Yeah,
and if
that can happen.
That were to happen with you and this guy you're talking about, then that's one thing.
Well, yeah.
But, I mean...
Yeah, I'm not saying I would never be friends with this guy. I mean, because,
yeah. You're just saying the likelihood of you being friends with this guy.
Yeah, because realistically, he's probably, like, at least 10 years older than I am, judging by his profile pictures.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, he's probably got his own set of friends, probably.
Right.
And I gotta take these things into consideration.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure you can... If you were friendly with him, that's one thing. Like, for example, Jacob and I, we have downstairs neighbors who we got to talking because we were trying to work out some living situations way back when. Just because we needed to move, they needed to move. We were hoping we could figure something out because we're on good terms with the owners downstairs where we live. It didn't work out. Long story short, don't need to go into details about that.
Damn.
I know.
Brutal.
But anyway, so it didn't work out to that degree, but we're on friendly terms with our downstairs neighbors. Well, part of the reason why we're on friendly terms is even if they're in their 30s, they're 10 years older than Jacob and I, right? Mm-hmm. And they have kids. The father is actually in psychology. He's in the field.
Oh, cool. So there's, like, common ground.
Yeah, so there's common ground. So while we were talking about the whole, like, apartment living situation in terms of, like, us maybe taking over their lease for them and moving into a different apartment and all this stuff, and then they could move into a house because they're at their life stage where they want to be in a house. While we were talking, we're kind of just, like, getting to know each other, and he was telling me that he's in the psychology field, and I was like, yeah, I am also in the psychology field, and we were talking about psychology tests that we both know about.
Nice.
That, like, I was talking about my job and what I do for my job and all that stuff, and it was just really cool to essentially nerd out. Yeah, because we were nerding out over psychology.
Nice. Love a good nerd out.
Yes, exactly. And Jacob was like, now I know what it's like for myself, me, Jacob's referring to me.
Yeah.
Now I know what it's like for Cassie, to kind of sit in the room while Jacob and somebody else nerds out over engineering or technology or whatever, right? Because it's kind of like, it's cool to see your partner be excited about something and talking about something that they're really into. Yes. And having somebody to talk about that with, I had never had that before. Of, like, having someone that's really into psychology just like me and knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's always a great feeling to have.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. But, like, again, I'm not friends with this guy.
Yeah.
But we're friendly, and we're on friendly terms with him. And, like, they went out of town. We kind of watched their apartments, helped out them by, like, if they got any packages, we put it in their garage and stuff like that.
I feel like there's gotta be, like, a word for that where, like, you have common interests with someone, but you don't consider them a friend.
Right.
God, is there a word for that?
I don't know.
There should be.
But, yeah, like, obviously, he wouldn't consider us friends, and we wouldn't consider him friends, and we live our own lives, and he lives his own life with his wife and kids. But it's just awesome, even though he's a decade older, to have somebody that you have common interests with, and you can still, like, be friendly with them and say hi and talk to them, and, you know, like... It's kind of cool to be at that stage in life where I'm developing connections with people. That doesn't necessarily have to be a friend, but, like, being on good terms with neighbors, like, I'm seeing the benefit of that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know,
the kind of conversation you would have like at a barbecue, at a neighborhood barbecue.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Like talking about psychology stuff was really cool. So it's possible.
I guess neighbor is a good way to put it, although that's not always going to apply to every situation.
Yeah, like, what sucks is that, I mean, with this situation, yes, he is my neighbor.
Yes, your literal neighbor.
My literal downstairs neighbor, because we live in a condo. So, I'm on the second floor, he's on the first. But, so he is my literal downstairs neighbor. But, like, for example, if you were to have a connection with the guy you're talking about that let you use his song and his, like, you know, his sound and whatever.
Yeah, his track.
That wouldn't be neighbor because he doesn't live next to you.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. What's a better word for it?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of is acquaintance, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Would that be on more of a personal level than associate in your mind?
I think of associate as...
You just kind of, like, are in the same room
think of,
often?
I guess. I think of
kind of
that...
like a classmate?
I think of that as more of, like, the corporate world. Associate, like, someone that you like, coworker.
Yeah.
That's kind of the category... Like, associate and coworker, in my mind, kind of are grouped together. If that makes sense. I feel like acquaintance is more so... Like, I feel like associate is, like, someone that you have to interact with.
Ah, okay.
Like,
yeah.
kind of like coworkers. It's... You don't have to be friends with your coworkers. You can develop a friendship with your coworkers. But you don't have to be. But you still have to be friendly with them. Because you have to interact.
Yes.
Right. So I think of associate as, like, someone that you're friendly with because they're a coworker, or maybe you're their boss and they work for you. They're an associate of you.
Yes.
But, you know, you're not friends with them. Versus acquaintance, it's kind of slightly above associate on the scale. Of, like, associate and coworker are kind of equal. And I think of acquaintance as, like, someone you like to interact with. In that setting where you're around each other, you frequently interact with each other because, you know, it's nice to have somebody to talk to and pass the time.
Yes.
And you're friendlier with them, but they're not still quite at the level of friend.
Yes. Okay, acquaintance then. Okay.
Right.
Well, you know, I like that. That's a good word. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of why I thought it was maybe acquaintance and not, I don't know, not something else.
Something else?
Or not a different word.
Oh, okay.
When I originally mentioned acquaintance when we were talking about this subject.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I thought of acquaintance. Because, like, for example, a lot of the people that I went to high school with, at the time I thought of them as, like, maybe a friend, but not anymore because we don't talk.
Mm-hmm.
But
we don't talk anymore.
Right. But I still, like, see what they're doing because they give updates on social media about their lives and whatever, and I follow them and they follow me and whatever. But they're not necessarily a friend anymore. So they kind of went down the tier, and now they're more of an acquaintance.
The tier of the kingdom?
No.
Ba-da-da-da-da. Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so the people I went to high school with, that, like, it's not like we are on bad terms, but it's not like we really talk. I kind of think of them as, like, acquaintances. And then the people that I genuinely hang out with, we chat regularly, update each other about our lives, in more detail beyond what social media can do. Let me put that out there. Those are my friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna figure out this korok puzzle real quick, and this might be the last thing I do in this episode. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Like,
I mean, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, we'd probably have to start a different
honestly,
topic of conversation.
I still have stuff written down on the notepad, but, like, that can be saved for another episode.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, let's figure out how to do this. In a rare turn of events, we actually are focusing on the game.
Right.
Okay, I think these are always the hardest puzzle for me, because you have to figure out how to yank the thing. That sounded weird, but I think the river's moving fast enough. Maybe.
Yeah. Can you like pull it?
Shit.
No.
I gotta have to think about this.
Is there like a rock that you can attach it to?
Yeah, I was looking for a rock.
To the bottom of the river?
I didn't see any at the bottom of the river. Nothing at the bottom of the river. As the ice there it goes.
Is it possible to like attach that little bobber to something and launch it?
I think so, yeah. Okay, I have an idea. I'm gonna have to use a device, though. Oh, wait. How do I do this? Okay. Get out the old reliable hoverstone.
Okay.
Then we're gonna get out a rocket. Might work. Rockets explode! Wait a minute, it's a rocket. Rockets explode.
Where's that from?
Toy Story.
Oh! Okay.
Wait a minute, I just lit a rocket. Rockets explode! Imagine being alive and not having seen Toy Story. Like...
That's how I felt with, like...
There we
Yay!
go! Hey, I should just do that for every time from now on.
Yay!
If there's no rocks around.
I think... Because, like, you know, I was a Disney girly back in the day. But,
We all watched a little bit of Disney.
Right, exactly. But, like High School Musical. Like, that's very apparently millennial coded.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
like, it was definitely more popular. Well, I'd have to look up when it came out. Because I think it was more popular when millennials were kids. Hold on.
I just realized we're getting to another topic of conversation.
Damn it!
It's happening again! Well, we got like 15 minutes, I guess.
Yeah, so... Okay, yeah, so the first High School Musical movie came out in 2006. I know!
Oh, my age!
I know! So that's what I mean by it's millennial coded, because by the time it came out, millennials would have been at the age where they remember going to see it when it first came out.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I'm at the age where I was too young. I watched it much later on. But that's exactly how I feel with High School Musical. Because I remember back in high school, and I was a Disney girly, and I had seen High School Musical, even though it came out 10 years ago, if not more, by the time I was in high school. Talking about High School Musical with a girl that was only 1 singular year younger than me. And she had never seen High School Musical.
What?
Yeah, and I flipped my shit.
I would too.
I was like, how have you never seen High School Musical? That's wild. Like, and that's, yeah.
Some people just live under rocks.
Yes, they really do. So, I mean, even though it's millennial coded, I was like, that's such a, like, everyone knows about it. Like, so many people have seen it. Speaking of Disney, I've actually seen that, and it's mainly for the millennials, again, because it's millennial coded.
Yeah.
I have actually seen that there are, like, raves that you can go to.
Raves.
That is purely for the Disney people that want to sing along to Disney movie songs. Yes. So it was literally like you went to a club and there were strobe lights and everything.
Oh my god.
And everyone at the top of their lungs, and these are all millennials, by the way, or like older Gen Z, are at the top of their lungs singing Frozen. Literally. And like singing High School Musical, and like it's such a vibe, and I love it. I love it.
Oh, I just want to say, earlier when I said some people live under a rock, not necessarily a bad thing. Just like you know, people are busy.
Right.
And one of my friends, the one who strictly I met online, but we are really good friends now.
Right.
Who's like 1 year younger. She always says, "I live under a rock," and that's like, well, you know what? I can help show you the world.
I can show you the world.
Yeah, that's the joke. That's the joke we make.
Anyway.
Yeah, not a bad thing. I guess we can.
Yeah, we can end it here. That was this mini tangent, luckily.
Yeah, a really small mini tangent. I'm gonna just take myself to relative safety, and yeah, let's end it here. Okay. Again, not really a formal outro for this. I guess just if you like more of this, if you want to see more of this, consider subscribing. I mean, I'd be surprised if you're new. If this is your first exposure to my channel, that's awesome. I don't know how well this is gonna do, but like, yeah, we're planning on doing more of this at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell and et cetera, et cetera. Plug in. Plug in. Self ad. And,
self ad.
Yeah.
Again, remember, he's putting out the Let's Plays still, so there's
yeah,
those.
that's it's gonna take a while, but I'm still working on that, and yeah, Night in the Woods will return. And you are gonna see, like, when that comes out, the microphone audio will be, you will see it, you'll hear a difference.
Yes.
There'll be a definite difference now that we are doing this after all these years.
Right.
But yeah, stay tuned for that. Like, hang tight. And this is gonna be like supplemental material. If you want more Cassie. Yeah, and you know, some people, like, the few people who know about the Cassie level of the Voidblivion iceberg, they're like, we need more of her.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
sometimes
it's funny you mention that.
Sometimes I can be insane.
Yes! Hey, May!
Anyway.
Alright, but yeah, until next time, see you guys.
Bye-bye. Ooga booga.
That's in the outro now.
Okay.